What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the NBA Draftkings slate on Thursday, January 14th. We got a nice little 5-game slate to get into today. 5 games with some big injuries because, teams just don't have players because of COVID. So we're going to get into all of that. But before I do that, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to this channel. It really helps me grow. I just want to continue all the growth we've had throughout 2020 into 2021. If you want to get more of my content, you can always subscribe to my Patreon, or you can get another spreadsheet, not this one you're seeing, but another spreadsheet of all the stats you need to know, a ton of stats, along with projections. Then you're also going to get rankings every single day, along with my game-by-game notes every single day. So be sure to check that out. I'll put the link down below for that. That's really all I got to say on that. Let's get into the plays, because I know that's what you guys want to hear about. We're going to start with the Charlotte Hornets going against Toronto Raptors. Miles Bridges, Terry Rozier I'm interested in. So Gordon Hayward's questionable. He got a hip strain yesterday, left the game, did not return. I don't really expect him to play because he got hurt on a back-to-back. So if Gordon Hayward's out, I expect Miles Bridges to start. It could be Caleb Martin, but I expect it to be Miles Bridges. If he were, Miles Bridges is $4,700. I would have him projected for 34 minutes. He has a usage rate of 16.4, an assist rate 8.5, and a rebound rate of 11.6. This is going to be a game that has a pace of 103.8. The Hornets have an implied team total of 106.5, and the game total is 220. That's just kind of neutral, not like great spots or anything. Actually, that's the lowest pace game on the slate, actually. But it's still nothing to worry about too much, in my opinion, especially if Miles Bridges is going to play a ton of minutes at that price tag. So I think he's a very good play on the slate, as is Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier, without Gordon Hayward, has a 28.7 usage rate this year. That's going from an average of 23.7, so that's just going to be a nice usage bump for Terry Rozier. At $6,200, I definitely like that. He should be shooting the ball more, scoring the ball more. I have him for 36 minutes today. I think Terry Rozier does great out. It's a very good play. Precious Achiuwa was the chalk the last time he played. I think he's fine again. I don't think he'll be as chalky this time. His price did go up to $4,400, but I do have him projected for 31 minutes. He has a usage rate of 20.6 and a rebound rate of 16.7. This game is going to be the fastest paced game on the day at 106.25. Miami does only have an implied team total of 105.1, and the game total is only 221, but still, I think that's fine. So Precious Achiuwa, I think he grades out fine. He doesn't look like the absolute smash play last time that we had from him, but he does still look like a fine option in my opinion. So I do think Precious Achiuwa is fine. Don't know if I want him to be a core play, but I will be getting some exposure to him today. Duncan Robinson's $5,500. I have him projected for 41 minutes. Dude's going to play a ton of minutes without anybody on the floor. He has only a usage rate of 16.2 and an assist rate of 6.4. He's just a good shooter, and for the minutes he's going to play and usage he's going to have, because his usage does go up a little bit right now, that's going to be really good. Now, I know what you all are wondering, where's Tyler Hero? Well, Tyler Hero is $7,300. He's going to have a ton of usage, but it wasn't like that high of a usage rate. He had a 33.3 usage rate, which is really high. I'm not going to act like it's not, but he's not like that productive of a player anyway, so I don't think I really want to get there. I think he's too expensive. I think you can play him, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be popular again. I don't know how much of exposure I really want to get to him, because he doesn't do a lot of, doesn't get a ton of assists, doesn't get a ton of rebounds. He's just kind of scoring, and if he's not hitting his shots, then he's not going to be that great of a play. Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris I'm going to be interested in on Philadelphia. Look, Embiid went off against Miami last time, put up 80. I don't think he's going to do that again, but nobody on the Heat team can guard him. There's just, I know that's, not something you usually like to look at when you go to DFS, but the centers on that team right now are Precious Achiuwa, who's undersized center, Kelly Olynyk, an undersized center, and Chris Silva's not good. So no one on that team is going to be able to control Joel Embiid. They didn't last game. I don't think they can again. He's got a usage rate of 30.5. I have him for 37 minutes today. He's $10,000. A huge rebound rate of 19.7. We already said it's going to be a fast-paced game. Philadelphia has the highest implied team total on a day at 115.6. So I do think Joel Embiid is in a very good spot. Then Tobias Harris just feels a little bit cheap to me. Probably only going to be a tournament play for me. I don't want too much exposure, but he's been playing a ton of minutes when he's out there. He's probable today, so I expect him to play. $7,900. He has a usage rate of 22.8, an assist rate of 14.8, and a rebound rate of 12.5. I think he does great as a pretty solid option. Wouldn't call him a lock or anything. I think Embiid's a much better play, but Tobias Harris is fine today. Chris Boucher, or Boucher, whatever you want to say. I honestly don't know how to say his name. He's $6,500, which is wild, but he's been rapidly seeing his minutes increase. He's one of the highest point per minute guys in the entire league. I gave him 28 today, but it wouldn't be surprising to see him honestly start. He's just been playing more minutes than Alex Len or Aaron Baines or whoever starts at center. So Chris Boucher, I think, is a great play. He's a great tournament play because he's not going to be high owned because he's expensive, but he has 50-point upside because he's just an incredible usage guy when he's on, not usage rate, but he just does so much point per minute guy. He's a productive fantasy player. I think he grades out well. This game has a pace of 103.8. It's against Charlotte. Toronto has an implied team total of 114.2, and this game total is total of 220. Now we're going to go look at the Indiana Pacers going up against the Portland Trailblazers. This is the highest total game on the slate at 228. Indiana has an implied team total of 113.4. And this is going to be the team I am probably the most interested in, as we're pretty much going to be interested in playing guys against Portland all year long. But Malcolm Brogdon is the first guy I want to talk about. So look, Victor Oladipo got traded yesterday to Houston. And I doubt he's playing today for Houston, but we'll get to Houston in a minute. But yeah, Malcolm Brogdon without Victor Oladipo on the floor has a usage rate of 27.9 and an assist rate of 35.9. That's just huge. Portland can't guard anybody, especially the backcourt. They can't guard anybody. $8,300. It's a lot. I mean, it's a paying up a little bit, but for that usage rate and that assist rate, I'm cool with it. Completely fine with it. He's going to play 35 minutes today. It's going to be a fast-paced game, a high-scoring game. I think Malcolm Brogdon's in a great spot. Aaron Holiday at $4,500 is going to look like a pretty nice value today. I gave him 30 minutes. He has a usage rate of 15.9, assist rate of 14.7. It's not a rebound rate at all. He should see increased minutes without Victor Oladipo. Oladipo did not play the last game the Pacers actually played, and Aaron Holiday saw like 28 minutes. I gave him 30 today. And then Edmund Sumner got the start though at $3,200. I have him projected for 31 minutes today. I don't know if he'll get to start again. I think it probably is just going to be Aaron Holiday. So if Aaron Holiday starts, I don't think I really want to get any Edmund Sumner because I just don't think his minutes are safe. I do think Aaron Holiday is pretty safe minutes here because he's been ahead of him in the depth chart for 2 years now. I don't think Edmund. I think that was just like a spot start. I really don't expect him to start again today. Obviously, pay attention to the news. If Edmund Sumner starts, I think he's a pretty solid option at 3,200. I want to call him a lock. I definitely like some of the other value we're going to talk about in a minute down in Houston, but I do think he's still a fine play. Miles Turner at $6,600. I have him projected for 37 minutes. He has a usage rate of 16.2, an assist rate of 5.1. And honestly, I mean, it's just a good spot for Miles Turner. I kind of always like playing him because he's always has a ton of upside, and not a lot of people ever play him. We saw him hit that upside against Golden State the other day, so he probably won't hit it 2 games in a row now. But maybe he's still going to have a really good game. I do like the spot for Miles Turner. I think this is a pretty good spot for him. Will Barton is going to be the only guy I'm interested in on the Denver Nuggets today. I mean, you can go Nikola Jokic. I'm never going to not tell you to play Nikola Jokic, but he just doesn't really stand out that much to me. If I'm at center, I'd just much rather play Embiid. But Will Barton at $5,800, I have him projected for 29 minutes today. It's got a usage of 18.9, assist rate 13.3, and a rebound rate 8.7. This game's going to have a pace of 105.45. Denver has an implied team total of 115.4, and this game total is an implied game total of 226.5, which is the second highest game on the slate. But this is a kind of a tough match for Golden State side, so I'm not really too much interested in those guys. But Will Barton definitely is the one that stands out the most to me. Jokic is fine, Murray's fine if you want to get to him, but Barton stands out definitely the most to me on this team. Now we're going to go to Portland, where we got CJ McCollum and Yusuf Nurkic. They're going against the Pacers. These guys are just way too underpriced, in my opinion. I mean, McCollum's $8,400. He has been playing massive minutes, gave him 38 today. He has a usage rate of 29.1 and an assist rate of 26, and he's $8,400. That's just too cheap for me. Pacers are kind of a tough matchup, but I'm not really too worried about that. He's going to play a ton of minutes. He's doing all the things that you do to score points. He's a high point per minute guy this year. I think CJ McCollum is definitely a guy I'm really interested in playing today. And then Yusuf Nurkic, I mean, yeah, he hasn't been great this year. Like, he just has not been good, but he's $5,300. Grades out as a pretty nice value for me. I gave him 30 minutes today, a usage rate of 20.9, assist rate 20.5, and a rebound rate of 16.6. This is not the most ideal spot for Nurkic. I mean, Miles Turner is a pretty good defensive center, but I'm really still not too worried about it. Yusuf Nurkic grades out really well for me. He's just way too cheap. He's definitely going to be someone I want to get into some lineups tonight. So now this is the team that is pretty much, we got to wait for news to really know what's going to happen. Houston Rockets are going to be without John Wall tonight, and they're going to be without James Harden forever. So this is the backcourt tonight. Sterling Brown, Eric Gordon, Ben McLemore, and David Nwaba, who I didn't put on here. I'm not really too interested in David Nwaba at the moment. But Eric Gordon's questionable, and if he were to miss, that means the backcourt Sterling Brown at $3,000, Ben McLemore $3,400, and also a super cheap David Nwaba. Like, these are going to be super cheap players in the backcourt that are going to be playing 30-plus minutes, and they're all going to be valued. Like, I'm going to love them all. I already like Sterling Brown at $3,000 playing 25 minutes. I assume if Eric Gordon plays, either Brown or McLemore starts, and probably whichever one starts is going to be the one I prefer to go to out of those two. But Eric Gordon, if he plays, Eric Gordon is the best play in the slate, in my opinion. He's $5,100. I have him projected for 36 minutes. He has a 35.6 usage rate without Harden and Wall on the floor this year. Now, that is a very, very low sample size. Not a ton of minutes they've played, but going back to the last year or two, Eric Gordon without Harden on the floor has been an insane usage guy, and he's someone that I'm going to just want to force in the lineups. He's way too cheap. Spurs aren't a good defensive team. He's going to be someone I want. And then Christian Wood, in this very, very, very limited sample size without Harden and Wall on the floor, he hasn't really had much of a usage bump at all, but I do think that would make sense for him to get a usage bump. He's now the best player in his team. At $7,700, I have for 34 minutes. He does have a usage rate of 27.4 and a rebound rate of 15.7. That grades out well for me. I think Christian Wood looks like a really solid option today. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the Spurs. LaMarcus Aldridge, Lonnie Walker. DeMar DeRozan's questionable for them, so pay attention to that one. These two are pretty much based off that. If DeMar DeRozan is out, LaMarcus Aldridge has a 28.8 usage rate without DeRozan, and Lonnie Walker has a 27.7 usage rate without DeRozan. So these guys then look like really good plays. 6,700 for LaMarcus Aldridge, 5,600 for Lonnie Walker. I gave Aldridge 35 minutes and Walker 33 minutes. This game has an implied team total, or game total, 221.5. The Spurs have an implied team total of 109.7. And Houston is already a mess because they're down 2 players, but they're just not good anyway, and they're defensively horrible. So I think that's really all I got to say in this video. It was a quick one today. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe on the video. If you want to get more of my content, hit that link in that bio as well. I think that's really all I got to say. Have a great rest of your day, and let's make some money tonight.